I mean, Tancredo was certainly a great campaigner. The debates would be unbelievable. They'd be stellar. But we would first have to go over the hurdle. Will the Republican Party, if Mays gets out, which is unlikely, would they ever nominate Tancredo? Now, you're closer to them than we are.
Yeah,
you say that with such detest and disdain.
They wouldn't. And they wouldn't. They can't stand Tancredo, as you know. But the
well, no, but the vacancy committee might.
But Wadhams, if you remember, on the infamous Peter Boyles show, in
radio
which Tancredo and Boyles and Wadhams were all screaming at each other. Wadhams said that Tancredo will lose 2-1 in a head-up match with Hickenlooper.
Heat of the moment. It's a lover's quarrel.
2-1, he said.
All right. What about from your paper? Chuck Plunkett came up with an interesting thought. Well, this is now Jane Norton's race. Former lieutenant governor. If only both of these guys could agree. What the hell are we kidding? Neither one of these guys are getting out of the race. This is clash of the egos.
They're not getting out of the race, but to me, I mean, could there be a worse possible year to appoint somebody to a job, I mean, and say run? I mean, think how well it's working out for Bennett. I mean, how tough that is just for him to overcome, as if it's his fault that he got appointed. Somebody had to be appointed. Somebody had to be appointed, right?
Romanoff was supposed to be appointed.
Right. So I'm saying, this is not the year for the backroom deal and saying, here's your candidate, whether you like her or not. You've already turned her down once. We're going to give her to you again. So it's not the best year for that to happen.
Although, who knows? I mean, maybe the Republican Party would be so relieved, I mean, that Jane plays better. That
another thing I promise you is Jane Norton does not want to run for governor.
Right.
She does not. I mean,
why do you promise that?
Because he knows her so well.
She's.
You guys.
I guarantee you that she's.
Guys go to Grateful Dead shows together, or what?
Sick of the race that she was already in. I guarantee you she doesn't want to change gears and get back in another race, which she got in as a good soldier to begin with. It wasn't like her lifelong dream was to run for the Senate. She got in as a good soldier, and now she's out. I don't think she wants to be a good soldier again.
You know, it's so amazing when you think about it. She wasn't even in the race at this time last year. They were talking to her, but she wasn't in. Ken Buck was about to drop out for like 3 seconds. Right. For her. And Ryan Fraser was still in the race for governor.
Right, and
crazy for Senate. Sorry.
This year was just remarkable. All right, predictions. My prediction: Mays will not get out. Tom will not get out. Hickenlooper wins in a cakewalk.
I'm with you.
And because of that, because we Republicans will not have a good top-of-the-line ticket, you're right, it's going to be harder for Buck because there's going to be more get out the vote for Hickenlooper and for Bennett. Also, downstream, it's going to hurt us in the State House and the State Senate, where we should easily win back one, maybe even both of those.
I think one was a real good chance. Now it's less of a chance.
Just because the Republicans can't get it together on the top.
Because Dan Mays is... Dan Mays is running for governor.
All right, so
it's bizarre. It's really bizarre.
You aging liberal hippies say this is going to hurt our chances.
We're all aging, I believe.
That if we had a real Republican candidate,
yes,
we would take back one of the houses.
Have a very good chance to.
Yeah, I think
very good chance to.
Over here?
This was your year. If you had a really good Republican candidate and you guys had the chance back a year ago to run for governor.
Not only if you had one, you had one. Josh Penry is the exact right guy. He's not tied in with old line Republicans. He's a new face. He's got a very pleasant looking face.
Like me.
Yeah, sort of. He gets along well with people. He's good on the campaign trail. He's smart. I mean, he's a dream candidate, particularly this year. It seemed to me that, you know, particularly when it looked like it was Ritter, I mean, to say, get rid of the old, he could run an Obama-like, he could have run an Obama-like campaign.
But instead they went for McGinnis.
And instead they went for the guy who was...
Whoa. Let's be careful about pronouns. They went for McGinnis. Now,
I mean the leadership. I'm talking about the leadership.
Right. Now, if you're Josh Penry, here you are, you're working in a bank in Grand Junction. You got a young kid, you're making diddly, and every time you want to talk to somebody who's in power or has money, you're driving 4 hours one way. And McGinnis just comes up to you one day and says, here's all my money. I got $2 million. I'm going to run you out on this election. I understand why somebody like Josh would go, you're right. If you're going to go call all in Texas Hold'em with that kind of hand, you're right. I got to get
no,
out.
we completely understand why he got out. The question is, here's a party. It's
Right.
their year. This was the time to build and come up with a good candidate. They should have been able to. You're happy to throw around the Republican money, giving Mays jobs, giving everybody else jobs. They could have figured a way.
I'm saying this was a way. This was a time for the Owens, Benson guys to say, "Look, Scott, we're not backing you. This is not your year."
This is the problem with my party, in that while the left put together an infrastructure to, the Tim Gill model of putting together all the think tanks and Progress Now and Ethics Watch and all the rest, we still have good old boys who want access, which is, I owed you a favor. I said when you, McGinnis, didn't run for the Senate, and so Ben Knight, Horace Campbell would, that I would support you, and I want somebody I know that I can pick up the phone and get it. Our guys don't play the same way, and that type of politics, if there was ever every year to show that giving money for access to the guy you kind of like and you want to have pick up, it's done. We have now, is there any more proof the Republican system of funding does not work?
Right. And the Democrats obviously made a mistake electorally, appointing Bennett. It was a bad move electorally because he never run for office. He's not a great candidate. He's not very good out on the stump. And, he has real weaknesses. If you wanted to have a sure thing, you should have put Hickenlooper in the job. It was a sure thing. But then they got Hickenlooper into the governor's job. He's the absolute toughest Democrat to beat in the state. By far, I think. I don't think there's anyone even close. Except for Ken Salazar, who's, took himself out of the position.
God, I'm so depressed.
So,
I am just
so they got
depressed.
the right guy there. And against Bill Ritter, who probably couldn't beat a mainline Republican, could beat Dan Mays. Probably couldn't beat a mainline Republican.
Ritter couldn't beat Mays. I'll give you that
The only solution, I think, you need a Hail Mary. You need Mays out, John Elway in. He's the only guaranteed Republican, I think, to beat Hickenlooper.
I agree. There,
Caldara ticket.
The Elway Caldara ticket
is a good one.
The Hail Mary pass to Caldara. I like this. I like this a lot.
It makes perfect sense.
There's nobody closer to a deity in Colorado than John Elway.
Unless you can get Tim Tebow.
Heaven and hell. You've got it.
We get the Tebow endorsement.
Yeah,
there's no question about that.
He's
got the Friar Tuck thing going anyway.
It's perfect.
All that depends on Dan Mays and Tancredo putting their egos aside, stopping the peeing contest, and getting out. Is there any? Let's just say John Elway was willing to do it.
If John Elway would have a beer with them, maybe. Grown men have done stranger things for John Elway.
And grown women.
You know something I don't know about you?
Oh, come on. Look at how people swoon over that guy still in this town.
Well, of course. Never mind.
There you go.
Of course.
Of course.
It's John Elway.
Exactly.
All right. Half a minute left.
Yes.
Any hope for us?
Well, I think Buck has hope in a Senate race.
I think Buck will win.
I think Buck is a good candidate
to get a governor.
No, I don't think so. I don't think there's any chance.
How about you? Give me something to hold on to.
We're looking for great stories for the next 3 months. We're very happy. But you know what? You running with Elway would be an excellent story, too.
All right. You go ahead and put that in the blog.
Yeah.
Patty Calhoun, thank you. Aging Hippie, thank you so much. Thank you. Oh, good God. I hate being around happy liberals. It makes my skin crawl. Listen for me late nights on 850 KOA. Check out the Independence Institute, independenceinstitute.org. Tell a friend. We'll see you next week.